In this video we're going to start looking at databases. More specifically, we're going to be using Microsoft Access. So what is a database? A database is an organised collection of data. You can have a paper-based database or you can have a digital database. Now, paper-based databases are handwritten ones that people don't really use anymore, especially in regards to businesses. A lot of it is now digital, but some people have like personal diaries, filofaxes or calendars. They're all forms of paper-based databases. And then you've got digital databases, which is probably what you think of as a database, which are created on a computer system and used in the form of tables. So you've got Microsoft Excel, which is like a flat file database. You've got Microsoft Access, which is a relational database. And you've got things like SQL, which we can use for things like websites. And we've got lots and lots of types of databases we can use. So some basic keywords. So you've got a field, which is a single piece of information from a record, which should be one of the columns in your database or in your table. A record is a whole set of data about a person or a thing, which is one of the rows in your database. You can see highlighted in green. And a table is all of the records for a particular category. And a database can have one table, like the one on the screen, or they can have lots. Now, data types are the format in which a piece of data or a field is stored in. So in databases, we set fields to a specific data type. This is known as database management systems, so Access, and they know how to store and manipulate the data. So for example, it won't try and add two words together because it thinks they're numbers. So you've got things like text, numeric, date time, and then some data types have more formats. So some data types can be divided further. So numbers can be an integer, a whole number, or a decimal. And a date time could be a short date, medium date, long date, a time. So they all get broken down into sub-data types. You also need to know about two types of keys at the minute. You've got the primary key, foreign key, and then you've got natural keys and surrogate keys, which help you pick a primary key. So a primary key is a single piece of information stored in a record that makes one of the records unique. Okay, so as you can see on the screen, we've got some patient information. If you had 3 Jeffs all born on the same day, which is possible, although unlikely, how would you tell the difference? So that's why you need an ID number, which would be primary key. Think about in school, you usually get some form of ID, and at my school, as a teacher, I get an ID, just in case we've got 2 Mr. Reeses or whatever. So a primary key is really good for making sure that each of the records in your table are unique. You've then got a composite key. A composite key is a key where there is no one field that makes the record unique, so we have to use more than one field. So we group 2 or more fields together so that they uniquely identify a record. So this is for a particular order. So you've got the order number, you've got the product and a description. All those 3 combined together should make a unique record. Then you've got a natural versus a surrogate key. So a natural key is a field that uniquely identifies a record and is actually a property of that thing. So your registration number for your motorbike or whatever. A surrogate key is a key field that identifies a record, but it's not actually a real thing or a proper thing. So we have to add it to the record. So if you think about a student ID, you're not all born with a special key code. The school or the business will give you that when you join the school or join the workplace. So that is a primary key that has been given to you, it's been added to the record. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the basics of Microsoft Access. So I've just created a new database called example database. I'm going to create a new table. Oh, I've just clicked Ctrl S so I can save that, so I'm just going to call it student data, and at the minute I've only got one field. If I click this button here, the ruler and the protractor and pencil, it goes to design view where I can start choosing what fields I want. So I might want name, and that must be a short text. I've got address, and I'll have age. Now I can choose my different data types. I'm going to have a number. Auto number is use of primary keys where it'll automatically add say the last record was a 1, it had 2 and 3 and 4, and it sort of names, essentially gives a unique value to each of your records. So this is my whole database. We'll click view, I'm going to save the table, and now I can start adding people, so I can say me, like that, and you see it's added that to the database now. I might have somebody else. You see it's automatically adding those IDs. So now you can go ahead and add in all your data, and it's fairly easy to go from there. Now if you want to go and change something, you decide, oh actually I wanted another field, you just click view again, and I can add another field, so I could have surname. This one could be forename. I might decide actually address should be a long text, so I want really long addresses. So I can change it to a long address, and you can change it as and when you need to. So go back to view again, save the table, I can now add my data in. So that's your basics of creating a database, your theory on your fields and keys and things like that, and how you sort of input some basic data. So that's creating a very basic database. Now going back to IGCSE, you're not going to be asked to create something as simple as this. You're going to be asked to import data from an outside source, probably an Excel file or a CSV file, take it into your own database, and then start manipulating the data, doing queries and things, which we'll cover later. But hopefully that was a good introduction and it helped you understand databases, and if you're just looking to learn things about Microsoft Access in general, hopefully that gave you a good base knowledge to help you out.